Hello, everybody. I'm Fet, or Fatui, as some people most know me for. Christoph Fatui in the full name. This here is a video to help out Mr. Devin Townsend. He has been having issues with his Pro Tool stream, and he was suggested yesterday by the chat that a capture card and a dual PC setup is the right solution. I don't disagree with that, but I would highly recommend that you do not invest in a capture card before you have tested this here out, and if you can get it to work, you can save that money. Because you do not need a capture card to dual stream with two PCs. And also, I am using a Windows PC, but it also works on Mac, Linux, etc. One thing that is different here, Devin, if you're even watching this, and to anybody else who's watching this here, and many YouTubers have talked about this here. This technology relies on a setup or technology or protocol called NDI. It's been used in the TriCast, which is a high professional streaming setup for cameras, etc. One of the things that NDI also is used actually is Netflix. Netflix actually uses this here setup. It's an open source protocol, and there's actually some things you can download for free without any money spent that you can use. One caveat here, Devin, is that I'm using the pure original OBS. You are using the OBS Streamlabs, which is a fork of OBS. They are not the same versions. They hold some of the same features on the base, but Streamlabs themselves have changed this here because they wanted to implement a lot of the Streamlabs stuff. It should still work, and I've seen on sites that you can get this here to work with Streamlabs, but just as a caveat, I am first of all using OBS. I'm using a Windows PC. There is the plugin for Mac, and it should work. So let me show you. Let's switch over to a setup here. Okay, so the first thing you will do here, Devin, and anybody else out there, is you will go ahead and open up your favorite browser on your Mac using Chrome, Safari, or whatever you want, and search for NDI, specifically OBS NDI. Hit that. The first thing you should see is the obsproject.com, OBS NDI, New Tech, which are the creators of this here, NDI, integration for OBS Studio. I do not know if there's a specific one for Streamlabs. We can check. I'm pretty sure it goes ahead and puts you into the same thing. There is SDK kit. I would recommend just downloading this here for now. Click the link here. You will see this. They're talking about a version 4.491, which is the newest version that is out. It is compatible with the newest version of OBS. You see all the caveats here. 4.91 is, if you scroll down here and let me zoom in a little bit, is the Ubuntu version. For Windows, it is 490. For Mac, it is 480. And it says which version of OBS and above it works, and version 24 on Mac. And I think these here downloads should work as they should. I'm pretty sure there should be resources here, but it is available here. So you zoom up again. What you will do here, and I'm just going to demonstrate this here because again, I am on Windows. I cannot help you with Mac, sadly. I wish I could, but I don't own a Macintosh desktop PC. So you will download this here. And let's see here, release. You will probably go to release page of GitHub, scroll down. You can see all the different versions down here. I will choose to install it here. There is a Mac package also for 8.9. It's probably just a wrapper for 4.8.0, but again, just so you know, the packages are down here through the GitHub. And if you tweet at me, message me, I will be happy to directly to the correct links. I will actually make sure that these links are available in the description of this video. And while I'm at it, let's put this here in Notepad so I don't forget. Well, that's one link. And let's give you the second link also, so you have that in the description. Okay, so when you download this here, you go ahead and choose the software 4.9.0 for Windows or Mac, depending on what you downloaded. And it should take just a couple of minutes. Ta-da! It's on the desktop, and you just boot it up and install it as you normally would. When you installed it, and you need to install this here on both PCs, Macs, laptops, whatever you use. Right now, you can see here, this here is the streaming PC that is actually recording this here session. I have a second PC here that is actually the one that I'm using right now to show you all this here. You need to install the plugin on both machines, and you need to have OBS installed on both machines also, because it is through that system it communicates via your internal network. And again, caveat, I recommend highly, if it's possible, have it on a wired connection. Wireless will cause even more latency that this here already produces, because there is latency. It's over the network. It takes time to go from packages to packages. A capture card will be faster, but it's also 10 times, 100 times more expensive. And it comes with a lot of other challenges on top of that. A capture card is not perfect. It's not a perfect solution. You can go to Epos Vox and many other professional people that talk about this here, that say that there is no perfect solution for this here. There is pros and cons with that here. That's also one of the reasons why you will normally take one streaming PC and do that. But I digress. So let's go back to this here, and right now in the bottom I have two settings currently running, or two OBS instances running. That's because I'm actually using, as I said, the dual setup to actually record this here. So this here is the second one that I have, and I've made a little scene here called Devin, just for the fun of it. And when you open this here up, this here would be on, for instance, this would be on your Pro Tools session. This here is the broadcaster computer. So the only thing you will do here is in OBS, and again, it depends. This here is the pure OBS, the newest version. I don't know 100% know how the Streamlabs version works, but it should do the same thing. Up under Tools, when you have installed the plugin correctly, you will see that the NDI output setting is available suddenly. You hit that, and what you do is you activate the main output and you give it a name. The name would be, for instance, the name of the computer, or a name you can remember. When you've done that, you hit OK, like so, and that's it. You do not need to do more on that PC other than a couple of things, and that is, it needs to be on a scene. And let me switch over to actually the scene that I'm using here, just as an example. So right now we have, actually, this is the one that I'm using right now. As you can see, it has this here running, And the only thing that it's doing is it is capturing the full display on the PC and the desktop audio, meaning all audio that is played on this here computer. And what it does is it sends this here, as you can see now because I'm moving the mouse, sends all the signals through the wireless over to the other computer, which we will talk about in just a sec how you set that up. But that's the gist of it. So as soon as you set all the things you want to stream through your network to the recording or streaming computer or laptop, that's it, pretty much it. You don't need to push any of the buttons over here, nothing. As soon as you've activated the NDI, the protocol is already broadcasting over to your network or through your network. The only thing you would need to do is actually take another device, would be your laptop, that is set up to, with also OBS, that is set up to actually then take the signal from the computer that you have that is broadcasting the NDI signal, take that signal and then broadcast that out to the internet, to Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or whatever streaming platform you so desire. And we will go through that in just a sec. So, when you've set up your scene here, set up all the audio and you can see all the levels here. And let me show you here. Let me just go ahead and sadly I cannot play any of Devin's music because it will get monetized and I don't want that to happen to my channel. I will take some music from Killer Instinct, which is a game, which is what's it called? I can't remember the English word here, but it's free to be used since it's a game, so we can use the audio without be getting demonetized on YouTube. And I'm playing this here, as you can hear, on the PC here, and it's immediately getting sent over to the other PC here and getting recorded right now and streamed out. You can do whatever you want. So let's close this here down and talk about when you've done with this here, then you go over to your streaming. You would call this here the gaming setup and then the streaming setup, because this is technically normally meant to your gaming setup. But let's talk in terms of you, Devin. This here will be your Pro Tools PC, the one that you do all your hard work on, or Mac. Your Pro Tools Mac, iMac, is the one that you set up like so. Then you go over to your laptop, which will be the streaming laptop, which takes the signal and stream all the things here. On that PC, you will do the following, and I'm again going to show you what you need to do. It will also have the NDI output setting set. It should be disabled. You don't need it because it's not going to broadcast anything, because this here is an output. That means it sends signal out. So this here should be disabled. The only thing you need to do is you set up all the things you need to set up again. Like you would add a webcam, you would add your mic, because the streaming laptop technically should be the one that has, because it has some of the most important things attached to it, meaning your webcam and your mic. Because if your gaming PC goes down, your Pro Tools session goes down, crashes or anything, your stream will not be disconnected. You will not lose your mic. You will not lose your webcam. The other reason is, if you would attach everything to your iMac, your Pro Tools session, and then stream it over NDI, it will work, but it causes latency, syncs, etc. And also, if you decide to maybe have the audio or the camera on the laptop and then use the issue here is, as soon as you split things up, like something important that needs to be in sync, meaning your camera and your mic, it should be always connected to the same PC, because that's the lowest latency you can get, and that's for a cable right now. It will probably not be able to beat right now. This here gets updated. The NDI protocol and the plugin gets updated a lot. It gets updated at least quarterly, or half a yearly, and they try to improve it. But there are latencies. So my setting is that my mic and my camera is connected directly to my streaming PC here, and I recommend you do the same. So when you've done that and set up all your devices, meaning you have set up your mic, you have set up your camera via capture card, for instance, whatever you use, webcam also. We can go ahead and add a webcam here. Let's do that. Video capture device, and we're just going to use one of my webcams that I have here. And you can see I have webcam here, and it will show up also on here. So you set that up, whatever. You have your mic inputs, etc. And the last thing you will do is, now we need to introduce the Pro Tools session. And you do that because what also happens when you install the NDI plugin, other than you get this here broadcast or output setting, you also get actually something new you can add, and that is actually an NDI source. And that is going to capture the source name that you gave when you set the output source. It should actually detect automatically if everything on your iMac is set up correctly. If your iMac has some kind of firewall, something that blocks the NDI signal to get out to your network, this here can cause issues. It can be a technical hassle. Windows has internal built-in Windows firewall. That needs to be not disabled, but the port needs to be opened up. Normally, it does that automatically as soon as you start a protocol, and then you pretty much clicked it here. And as soon as this here happens, and you click OK, you should get the signal and actually get this here on here. And now you can see actually what's happening is that it's actually capturing the other OBS that I have right here, because that is outputting to this here. And that's it. Then you're done. You're getting the audio. You're getting anything. You can see you get a new source here. So you can mix that in. You can do all the shenanigans you want to it. But now you're free. And that means that as soon as you have set up your Pro Tools session correctly up, you should be able to take all the audio that it has and then stream it through the NDI protocol to the other PC or your laptop, and then through that go ahead and then broadcast that out to Twitch. That is pretty much how you would do it. Let's go over here. There's nothing more to it actually. It's simply installing the plugins on both PCs, have the same software, and it's pretty much like one is throwing the ball and the other needs to catch it. That's the setup here. So as soon as you've set this here up and you have a stable network, and again I emphasize highly, I recommend if you can hook up both PCs, both laptops, both iMacs, whatever you have, to a cabled environment, or you can at least make sure that you have a highly non-disrupted Wi-Fi signal. You should be able to do this here with as low latency as that will not cause any issues. Meaning that when you see, for instance, that the problem happens is that in a scenario like what you were trying to do, Devin, with Pro Tools, is that, and if you do the setup like I suggest, and this here is only suggestion, you can do whatever you want. What you would be doing is actually you will be recording your mic and your camera from your laptop, and then you will then record everything that is done on Pro Tools on your Pro Tools and PC or Mac. There will be a desynchronization when you maybe play something, record something, and if you're streaming, and we see this here music, but the Pro Tools session is behind. And that's why you want as low latency as possible, and the only the lowest latency you can get on network is a cable. Wi-Fi is a horrible latency because Wi-Fi, as soon as you walk away from the Wi-Fi antenna, air actually degrades the signal. So that's my advice. Test this here out before going in and investing hundreds of dollars on a capture card. I did the same thing when I started out streaming, and I'm not a professional streamer. I do this here for fun. I have money to spend, so I have all this here hardware, and I'm an IT person. I've been working in IT for 10 plus years, so I know a little bit about about technology. I enjoy technology, so I do not recommend without testing if this setup is actually better for you. There are advantages and disadvantages for dual setups. First of all, it's more expensive. It's overkill in some scenarios, especially if you're not actually making money from it or have income to support all this here. The second thing is that getting things to work through this here protocol and all that can be things here. So sometimes it's easier to go analog, meaning you would take your output from your Pro Tools session, you probably can send it to a bus and then just send it over through analog cable to your second PC and just do that and try to sync it up as best as possible. This your protocol should ease everything up so you do not need cables or everything, but it's not perfect. It is technology. It should work. I have had no issues with it so far, but your mileage may vary. It is free and it costs you not a dime. And OBS in the raw format that I'm using is also free, and it's also available for Mac and Linux. So anybody else that is not watching can also take advantage of this here instead of spending at least a couple $300 to $400 on a capture card. And Epos Vox, who is actually a YouTuber, highly recognized, and actually does specific videos on setting up streaming, etc., actually says the same thing. But he also says the capture cards are great for other reasons. But I'm not going to go into this. I hope, Devin, you all have watched this, and I hope that it helped you. And I hope to see you on the next stream because yesterday was awesome. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I'll keep supporting you, and thank you to anybody who's watching it. You know what to do. You can hit the like button. You can dislike it. You can follow me on Twitter. You can do whatever you want. I'm not here to pretty much say anything. I'm here to entertain people. So that is what I will do. And I hope you've learned something. I hope to spread the word. So thank you, and have a great day.